On the news, House of Representatives discovers over 300 billion naira of public expenditure unaccounted for across MDAs.
It is expected that at the end of the conference, we'll have a significant reduction in violations of financial regulations and laws.
Nasarawa State House of Assembly calls for investigation of the gruesome killing of police DPO.
Civilians killing police by mob action, no, it is uncalled for. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, it is a concern for the House.
Plus, security risk expert shares insight on legislation on state policing, its acceptability and effectiveness at federating units.
Every state in Nigeria has its own peculiar security needs.
Good evening and welcome to NTA Parliamentary News. I am Ene Ojonigba. The House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts says more than 300 billion naira of public expenditure remains unaccounted for across 60 ministries, departments and agencies of government that have not yet aligned to established financial management standards. Chairman of the committee, Bamidele Salam, disclosed this at a briefing ahead of a national conference at Public Accounts and Fiscal Governance, expected to chart a new course for transparency and sustainable development.
It is expected that at the end of the conference, we'll have a very significant reduction in violations of financial regulations and laws, as well as deepen our transparent system in public procurement and expenditure at all levels. There are quite a lot of gaps. But like I've said, we should also realize that there are movements towards closing those gaps. And one of the movements towards closing the gaps is in the area of reform. So regardless of what you say, there will never be anything again like a fuel subsidy scam in Nigeria. Because the source of that scam has been taken away. There is even no subsidy again. So when you close some of those gaps, you also achieve a certain degree of reducing, the propensity of people to, do all manner of things untoward with public resources.
The committee is advocating harmonization of national and subnational laws to integrate modern anti-corruption technologies in financial regulations and institute transparency and accountability as core national values. Addressing divergent interpretations to law as it affects the predictability and justice system in the rights of litigants took center stage at a justice reform dialogue holding in Abuja. Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports that the event was put together by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS.
Judiciary plays a crucial role in upholding the rule of law and ensuring justice in the society. However, inconsistency in decisions by judges and divergent interpretations undermine the public trust in the judicial system. This dialogue seeks to explore the causes, consequences, and potential resolutions of such divergent interpretations.
Let us remember that the law is not static. It evolves through interpretation. But with evolution comes the responsibility to interpret in ways that uphold justice, clarity, and trust in the legal system.
It is time for a serious introspection about the quality and coherence of our judicial decisions. A judiciary that says one thing in the morning and another in the evening loses the confidence of the people it exists to serve.
Basic habits rarely change. We still have colonial laws in our law books that are encouraging this. Take the law of limitation, or not even the law of limitation, pre-action notice. While we have equality before the law, that which connotes equality of opportunities, obligations, and rights.
The workshop has the theme, One Judgment, Many Meaning, Navigating the Divergent Interpretation of Court Decisions in Nigeria. In Abuja, Mohammed Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Speaker, Nasarawa State House of Assembly, Danladi Jatau, is calling on the citizens to remain calm on the gruesome killing of an indigene of Nasarawa State. Police DPO Aliyu Mohammed in Rano local government area of Kano State urging the state to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book. This is coming under a matter of public importance observed by member representing Lafia Central, Solomon Yakubu Akwashike. Adams Abdul Kadri completes the report.
Under the matter of public interest, Solomon Yakubu Akwashike, member representing Lafia Central in the Nasarawa State House of Assembly, condemned the gruesome killing of police CSP Ali Muhammad in Rano local government area of Kano State. He says, injury to one is injury to all, therefore calling on the authorities to take drastic action to avert future occurrence.
The killing of the innocent soul, Mr. Speaker, indeed, it calls for concern. And the people of Nasarawa State are worried because these are potential DIG, these are potential IG. We are trusting God if they are alive. But unfortunately, they were killed.
By the time you arrested everybody, when they went for proper investigation, a lot of them will be set free because some of them don't even have connection with that. The Speaker, if not because Nasarawa State, Lafia local government were peace-loving people, it will also become a reprisal attack. They can't even have their own people here too.
Civilians killing police by mob action, no, it is uncalled for. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, it is a concern for the House, it is a concern for all the people of Nasarawa State that we will not allow our officers, both men and women, to be killed.
Speaker of the Nasarawa State House of Assembly, Danladi Jete, urged Governor Abdullahi Sule to ensure that the perpetrators of this crime are brought to justice.
We urge His Excellency, the Governor of Nasarawa State, to draw the attention of Inspector General of Police and Governor of Kano State to conduct full investigation into the brutal killings of CSP Muhammad Ali, a DPO serving in Rano local government of Kano State, and bring the perpetrators to book.
In another development, the House adopted 6 recommendations observed in repealing Nasarawa State Agricultural Development Program, Edit Number 13 of 1997, and to establish Nasarawa State Agricultural Development Program aiming at boosting agricultural revolution in the state. Also, after several hours of deliberation, the House considered the recommendation observed by the Standing Committee on Works and Transport on a bill to establish Nasarawa State Inland Waterways Regulation Agency to regulate the carriage of persons and goods across water and rivers in Nasarawa State. Meanwhile, Nasarawa State Education Trust Fund B passed for assent by the Governor.
To make provision for the establishment of Nasarawa State Education Trust Fund and for other matters connected therewith, third reading and pass. Thank you. Please, Clerk, prepare a clean copy of the bill for my perusal and onward transmission to His Excellency the Governor for his assent.
From Nasarawa State House of Assembly, Adams Abdul Kadri, NTA News.
Joining us on Parliamentary News to shed more light on legislation on state policing, its acceptability and effectiveness at federating units is Commodore Abimbola Ayuba. He is an international security risk management consultant. You are welcome, Commodore.
Good day. Thank you for having me.
The bill, titled A Bill for an Act to Alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, to provide for establishment of state police and for related matters, HB 617, championed by Deputy Speaker Honorable Benjamin Okezekalu alongside 14 co-sponsors, marks a pivotal step in Nigeria's legislative process, having successfully passed through second reading since last year. How fast do you want its passage by the National Assembly and at state houses of assembly?
Thank you very much. This bill on amendment of the Constitution of the Federal Republic on state policing, it's long overdue, and thankfully the bill is moving very well in the House of Rep. Has taken 2 readings already, but I feel that by now we should have been done and dusted with the legislative aspects of this state policing, and I want to advise states who have not endorsed this proposed bill to quickly do so, for the reason of patriotism, for the reason that the rising cases of insecurity orchestrated by porosity of our borders and incursion into our national frontiers by bandits and terrorists of all dimensions who have invaded our country through the Sahel region, making our country insecure. Because the earlier we deal with the bill and get it passed, and getting the executive, the president and commander-in-chief to assent to the bill will be the beginning of our move towards addressing our own reality of confronting the perennial problem of insecurity in Nigeria, because every state in Nigeria has its own peculiar security needs, and that will help the governments at the state level to build up a robust system to manage their own peculiar security challenges.
The bill envisages a transformative shift in Nigeria's policing architecture, advocating the decentralization of policing powers by transferring the police item from the exclusive legislative list to the concurrent legislative list. However, some experts believe implementing state policing will require time and resources, potentially taking up to 3, 5, or 10 years before its effectiveness can be seen. What is your take?
It's very important for us as a nation to understand that it is a situation of give and take, and the old way of central policing has not worked out. In the last 10-15 years of decline into insecurity in our country. Therefore, if the major aspect of removing the policing powers from the exclusive list and placing on the concurrent list is the way forward, then so be it.
Some state governors recently resolved to agree to the establishment of state police in their various states. However, many argue that Nigeria is not ripe for state police because some governors will allegedly use the police to hunt their political opponents. Do you agree with that?
People talk about fears of governors hijacking the police to use it for whatever reason. I think that we should first of all understand that even before the state police are well formed, that it will be preceded by a lot of advocacy and also a lot of town hall meetings will have been held. And of course, there must be a system of check and balance in one appointing who will be the head of a state police. And in some countries they employ neutral people who come from the security climb, and in most cases there will be a policing board that will comprise of stakeholders within the state, i.e. local governments, and also representatives of wards and interest groups within the state will be selected to be in the board of policing. And of course, being a state police does not also mean that every needs of the police will be sorted out in one fiscal year. But we must recognize what the governors are doing already. They are spending huge resources of security vote on security already, buying fleets of vehicles of various capabilities. And also, in the case of Lagos, the security trust fund, they have helicopters that they use to patrol. So it's all about understanding that the transition into state policing, yes, we have its own flaws, but by and large, confidence building, one, bringing policing to the world level, we have to make people in various wards to keep themselves safe, first of all, and up to the state level. And that, of course, there's a benefit to that, even for the central police, which will be there, because there are peculiar crimes that the Inspector General of the Nigerian police will be able to concentrate on. Crimes that are of international dimensions, human trafficking and all other kind of cyber crimes and all that, which and then other issues of terrorism, explosive ordnance disposal, and some areas that the police will free itself from the day-to-day checkpoint operations, and then the funds will now be adequate, being allocated to the police at the center.
Thank you for your insights, Commodore Abimbola Ayuba.
Thank you.
Time now to pause for some messages. Parliamentary news continues after the break. Do stay with us.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the marketing department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Welcome back. You are watching NTA Parliamentary News, reaching you from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. You can follow the platforms on your screen for more updates. Moving on, the persistent underrepresentation of women in Nigeria's governance and politics continues to stoke debate in the polity. Despite growing advocacy for women's participation in politics, the numbers in government, especially the legislature, tells a starkly different story. The Special Seats Bill proposes a vital solution, allocating exclusive seats for women in Parliament to rectify this imbalance. In our next report, National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen takes a look at the progress of the bill in the Parliament.
Poor representation of women in governance and politics has been a long-standing issue. While the advocacy for women participation in politics is gathering momentum, many believe it is not translating to appreciable number of women in elective positions. This is evident in the number of female legislators in Nigeria's bicameral legislature, which currently stands at 19 female lawmakers out of a total of 469 lawmakers in both chambers of the National Assembly. Proponents of special seats for women in Parliament argue that it is expedient not only for fairness and inclusivity, but also for closing the gaping gender gaps in governance and politics.
At this point in our nation, the principles of fairness and inclusivity cannot be overemphasized. Globally, Nigeria lags behind in women representation in Parliament. among the lowest countries who have implemented this affirmative action.
During the constitutional amendment voting in the 9th Assembly, the Special Seats Bill failed to scale through in the Senate and House of Representatives. Notably, the bill has been reintroduced in the current 10th Assembly and has scaled second reading in the House of Representatives, but not without some steaming debate.
In the Committee of Nations, when we talk about inclusivity, how are we going to be looked at? Women representation, representation for physically challenged persons are things that we need to look at and work outside the box to correct them. So I will plead urge us to support this bill.
As accepting this bill is against democratic principle and is undermining the fundamental human right of those ones that are popular in their own constituencies, Mr. Speaker. And if we continue doing so, we are also undermining the political parties. The political parties should decide whether women should contest in their own platform or not.
While it is a global trend to adopt some form of electoral quota system to address women underrepresentation in elective positions, leaders in the National Assembly are in the vanguard of advocacy for enacting enabling laws.
We give specific attention, particularly to the women committees, and ensuring that we don't leave one single woman representative without a key leadership position in the House, so that they can use that platform to actually advance the cause of women.
Through the spectacles of the men and the spectacles of the women, the lenses will see better. That is why we're here.
Please, I want to use this medium to cry out loud to our political parties. We need political party reforms.
It offers a unique and compelling way to spotlight the urgent need for greater female representation in leadership and decision-making processes.
The Special Seats Bill currently in Parliament proposes the creation of one additional legislative seat to be contested by women only for each state and the Federal Capital Territory, in the Senate and the House of Representatives, which would amount to a total of 74 special seats. Having scaled second reading, the Special Seats Bill is now before the Committee on Constitution Review for further legislative action, and many will be watching for its progression in the constitution alteration process. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Kaduna State House of Assembly has confirmed the appointments of Professor Abubakar Sani Sambo as Commissioner for Education and Barrister Gloria Ibrahim as Commissioner for Youth Development. Correspondent Adamu Sunday, who was at the plenary session, now reports.
Lawmakers at the Kaduna State House of Assembly took turns to shower encomiums on the nominees, particularly Professor Abubakar Sani Sambo, applauding his achievements, especially during his tenure as Vice Chancellor of Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi. They expressed confidence in his ability to replicate similar success in transforming Kaduna State's education sector. Following the commendations, both nominees were asked to take a bow and go.
We will try very hard to ensure that the vision of the governor in trying to reinvigorate the education system in the state is met.
My office is going to be an open door office that the youths will come in, we will engage them, and then we will find lasting solutions to the problems of youths in Nigeria and in Kaduna State.
Meanwhile, two bills were passed into law. The first is a bill for a law to establish the College of Agricultural Technology, Samaru Kataf, 2024, and a bill to amend the customary court law, number 9 of 2001. These bills were passed after the presentation of reports by the joint committees on education, agriculture and judiciary. Lawmakers deliberated on the proposed legislations, weighing their merits and implications before a motion was moved for their adoption and subsequent passage.
Kaduna State, we believe a lot of people, what we are into is farming. And by the time this school is created, by the time the governor assents to this bill, a lot of jobs will be created.
We are aware that the customary courts are membership courts. What we have done today is to make it more flexible in view of the depth of members at the court level. We find out that some courts don't have a full complement of members, and because there are no members, the court will not sit. So what we have done is to give the court an opportunity of sitting with or without members.
In addition, a bill for a law to establish the Kaduna State Information Technology and Digital Economy Agency and for Other Related Matters 2025 was read for the first time on the floor of the House. In Kaduna, Adamu Sunday, NTA News.
One of the most important days in the Islamic calendar is the Arafat Day, as millions of Muslims around the world observe the sacred rituals of Hajj. Our correspondent Hakimat Aliu examines the deep spiritual significance of this day, both for those on pilgrimage and for Muslims everywhere. Her reports.
Arafat Day falls on the 9th of Zulhijjah in the last month of the Islamic lunar calendar. It is the climax of Hajj pilgrimage, when millions of pilgrims gather on the plain of Arafat, just outside Mecca in Saudi Arabia. The Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, peace and blessing of Allah upon him, delivered his farewell sermon at the month of Arafat 1,400 years ago, reinforcing the principles of equality, justice, and the sanctity of life. From noon to sunset, pilgrims stand in prayer and supplication, seeking forgiveness and spiritual renewal in what is often described by Islamic scholars as a rehearsal for the Day of Judgment.
Arafah is the significance of the essence of the pilgrimage itself. But when you look at what Arafah is and what you do in Arafah, it will surprise you that Arafah is the easiest, is the cheapest, is the most comfortable aspect of Hajj. Because when you get there, you don't even do nawafil, that you do nafila. You don't even do prayers differently. You combine Zuhr and Asr together, and it's not time for Maghrib.
For those not performing Hajj, Arafat Day is also deeply meaningful. Muslims around the world are encouraged to fast on this day according to Islamic teachings.
It's still the same thing. Fasting on that day, when you fast on the day of Arafat, the Prophet ﷺ said, it clears 2 years of sin. So nobody is missing anything. Those who are in Arafat and those who are at home.
As the sun sets on Arafat's Day, pilgrims begin their journey to Muzdalifah, continuing the rites of Hajj. For Muslims across the globe, Arafat's Day provides an opportunity for deep reflection and spiritual evaluation, which comes with abundance of rewards. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
This is where we call it a day on Parliamentary News for this evening. For more updates, kindly follow NTA Parliament on the platforms showing on your screen. Thanks for watching. Once again, I am Ene Ojonugba. Bye for now.